Have you ever lost anything? I mean, I suppose that's kind of a rite of passage for most people. And when I lose something, like, say, oh, I don't know, my car keys, whatever, the two things that people say to me that really, they're trying to be helpful, but they're not, is number one, where is the last place you saw 'em? Well, if I knew the last place I saw them, I wouldn't need your help because I could go there and get them. My favorite is this one. Well, they got to be somewhere. Well, yeah, in the scheme of the universe, maybe, but that doesn't narrow it down too much. What I'm talking about is finding things, right? If you use Microsoft Word or you use Corel WordPerfect or any one of a number of programs, you have probably conducted a search for something like find and replace. The difference in Dreamweaver is because we're working with a lot of different things, code and stuff like that. Basically, it's a very sophisticated search engine that targets exactly what we want. Now, I've got a page open in one of my sites. It's a lot more complicated than anything we've done so far. So let's just play around here. If I go up to the word edit on the pull-down menu, you will see find and replace, along with find selection, find again, and something called live search. But let me show you something. If you're working on your web page and you decide you want to go into live view, which shows you things like Flash, and so now I can see stuff like that. Maybe I like that, maybe I don't. But you'll notice if I go back to the word edit, it's grayed out. So if you go up to the word edit with the idea of doing a find, replace, or a search, and you don't see it, it's grayed out, then basically you want to go back into design or code view, just like that. Now let's go ahead and go back up to the word edit and go down to find and replace. Let's start over on the right-hand side. We have find next, assuming we had put something in the find field. We have find all. We have replace, if we're doing a replace. We have replace everything, replace all, or close. Now over here, the default is current document. However, we can say, I've selected some text in a current document, just search that. Search all the open documents. You can have more than one document open. Search a particular folder, selected files in a site, which means I could come over here and just select files, or everything, the entire current local site. Let's stick with current document. Now we're looking for text. We'll get more into this other stuff later. Let's not worry about that right now. So what do I want? Well, if you look at, just about any kind of writing, we use things like and, A-N-D. It's preposition, this and this and this. But the world of writing is moving more to using an ampersand more than an and. And I decide, well, I want to keep up with things. And I've got, I'm a professor and international speaker, and that might be better if I type in an ampersand there. I could do it right here, but I've got a lot of places. I don't want to look for them. I want the computer to help me. I'm going to get into find, type in A-N-D. I'm going to come down to replace and type in an ampersand. I want to be up with the times. Now, the logic that we have is the options. I do want to match case. When you match case, you're saying if there's a capital A-N-D, then don't do it, because I chose all lowercase. Now, this one down here to me is very important, mainly because my name is Anderson. And if you don't say match the whole word, it's going to look for the occurrence of A-N-D inside of any word and change it to an ampersand. So when it comes to my name, instead of it saying A-N-D-E-R-S-O-N, it's going to start with an ampersand. And now, I don't know, that might seem kind of cool. Maybe I should do that, but I don't want that. So I'm going to say match whole word. Ignore white space. Well, you have more than one word up here because you can search for more than one word. But maybe you add more than one space between the words. What that says is I will ignore anything but one space. So I always leave that on if I'm doing multiples. Right now, it doesn't really matter. Now, expressions, use regular expressions. We're going to talk about those later in another lesson in this chapter. So let's not worry about that either. So, I don't know, I'm ready to go, I guess. Find next. Now, you have to understand something. This can get in the way. So you might have to move it around to get it where you can see things, and there's the first one. 17 best-selling books on graphics and design. And I decide, yeah, I want to change that one. Sounds good to me. So I say replace. Not all, just replace. Now notice it replaced it and then went to the next occurrence of the find. So I can choose, well, Oh, that one I don't want to change. I can say find next. Skip that one. Now I can also say, look, I want to find them wherever they are inside the current document. So I say find all. You can see right now there's every single occurrence in the current document of A and D. To find them, all I have to do is double click on these. And there's one. There's one over here. Like I said, this can cover them up. So if you don't see it, you might want to move it. I can also click this button to get right back into find and replace. And I can say, no, replace them all if I want to. I don't usually want to do that because some I probably want to keep as A and D, but this is a quick way to go through the document. Now let me do it a different way. Let me go ahead and close out of here. Let me go ahead and close search. I'm going to do something. I'm going to go up to the word file on the pull down menu and go down to revert, which basically means take it back the way it was. I didn't want to change anything. Okay, so we're back to square one and all the A and Ds are back. So I'm happy. I'm going to close this document out. I still have access to find and replace. Now in this case, I want to look for and again. I want to replace it with an ampersand. My logic down here is fine, but not inside of source code, in text, and here the entire current local site. Now, if I'm of the opinion that I just need to change these, and let me give you an example of one that might be better. You're doing a website for, say, for example, a business and company, and the CEO is John Doe. And John Doe retired, but you've got his name sprinkled throughout the website. You want to replace John Doe with the current guy's or gal's name. So you just say, hey, replace all. That's what I'm going to do, but watch what it says. This operation can't be undone. Why? Because you're not opening the documents. Dreamweaver is going into these closed documents, making the changes, saving over, and then getting out. There is no undo to this. So you want to be careful about that if you use it in this way. But I can still go back here and say, find all. There are 107 items found inside of 25 documents. If I want to see one of them, I can scroll down to the one I want to see. These are the ones that we just did, index 2. But here's one here. I can double click. It will open the page for me. I can then go through the process of deciding by clicking here whether I want to replace it or skip it. Find and replace inside of Dreamweaver is actually a very sophisticated system. And it helps you not just with text, as you're going to see. It even helps you with code if that's something you want to do. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to click here, close that out. I'm going to close this out right here, and let's go ahead and move on.